Y'all remember the TV show Everybody Hates Chris? And Chris's mama used to always say, "I don't need this job. I can quit because my husband got jobs. He got multiple jobs." That was Tashina Arnold's thing she used to always say. She said that because they had their money. Like times were tight, but she was like, "My man got that money on the side. I'm good." Hey y'all, I'm Jay Stevens and welcome to Rich Like My Melanin, where we make money moves that make sense. I break down money, investing, and building wealth in a way that's real and relatable because securing the bag isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. Let's get into it. Today we're diving into the deep world of saving. Yes, savings. It might not sound as fun and sexy as investing, but trust me, it's the foundation of building wealth and thriving and achieving financial freedom. We're going to cover everything from why saving is important, what to look for in a savings account, how to maximize your savings with high yield savings, and what's a CD ladder. So grab your notebooks and let's get started. First, let's talk about why savings is so important. It's not just about the rainy day fund, though that is a big part of it. Savings gives you financial security because when life happens and there's unexpected expenses like job losses, medical bills, savings is there for your fast safety net. It also helps you have the ability to achieve financial goals. So whether it's a down payment on a house, a dream vacation, a new car, early retirement, snapback surgery, any of it, savings helps you turn those dreams into reality. Savings affords you a peace of mind. So peace, not just a peace, P-I-E-C, it's peace, P-A-C-E, peace of mind. Knowing you have a financial cushion reduces stress and allows you to make decisions from a place of strength, not desperation. Y'all remember the TV show Everybody Hates Chris? And Chris's mama used to always say, "I don't need this job. I can quit because my husband got jobs. He got multiple jobs." That was Tashina Arnold's thing she used to always say. She said that because they had their money. Like times were tight, but she was like, "My man got that money on the side. I'm good." Last but not least, savings gives you the flexibility to go for the opportunities you want. So when opportunities arrives, like something comes up, like a great investment or a business venture, not just a business adventure, savings gives you the flexibility to pursue them, to seize that opportunity. And overall, it sets the foundation of a bunch of other financial goals that you can grow upon. So without it, you're really building your house on sand, like you don't have that solid foundation. So now, how do we actually save and how does it work? Here's some key strategies. Budgeting. Track your income and expenses. I mean, you can go with a fancy way. You can get apps and spreadsheets. You can do good old-fashioned pen and paper. Whatever works, you need to see what your budget looks like so that you can know what you need to save. Automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account every payday and then pay yourself first. There's actually some tax credits you can get for saving depending on where you are financially. They are benefits to saving and starting sooner. And then keep in mind small amounts matter. So let's say you start with putting away $7 a day, which is about $50 a month, or $50 a week, like $49 really. That $50 a week becomes $500 in 2.5 months. And $7 is just a cup of coffee, y'all. If y'all go to one of those fancy coffee shops, or since I'm a millennial and they say we want avocado toast, like $7 is the cost of bottle avocado toast. So you could just skip avocado toast, coffee, whatever. It's not even the cost of like a drink during happy hour. Like $7 isn't carrying you that far nowadays. But the basic concept is doing those small amounts, putting money aside, so when you have it, you need it. Now, if you want to level up your savings, because that's just the basic of savings, but if you want to level it up, if you really want to do it right, you put that money in a savings account. Just don't put it under your mattress. And right now, the national average for a high yield savings account, the interest rate is 3.8%, 3.8% yield. That means when you put money in, you're going to get 3.8% on top of that. That's what a yield is. It's what you get, what it yields you, what it gives you. Without adding another penny, let's just take that $500 you saved after skipping your coffee and everything, without adding a single penny more. In 6 months, half a year, you've earned $9.41. Now, that's not a lot, but that's at least another piece of avocado toast. In 1 year, you'll have $19. In 5 years, you'll have $102.50. So you go from $500 to $600. That's a 20% increase, but doing nothing, just staying alive, just keeping the money in the account. And that is how you use your money to make money. Okay. Now, not all savings are created equal. So here's what to look for in a savings account, because again, you don't want to just get an account and hope it works. Look for high interest rates, low or no fees, FDIC insured, and accessibility. I'll break them down for you. High interest rates. Look for high yield savings accounts. I mentioned the yield before. That's how much you get out of it. High yield savings accounts means you get more out of the money, as opposed to like a national rate for just the regular account might be like 0.5%. A high yield savings account I mentioned earlier, the yield might be close to like 3.8%. Online banks and credit unions tend to have the better rates compared to traditional brick and mortar banks. So look for online banks, look for credit unions. Then look for low or no fees. Avoid accounts with monthly fees, minimum balance requirements, or excessive transaction fees. Because why are we having to pay money to use our own money? Rude. FDIC insured. Make sure your account is FDIC insured. FDIC is an acronym for Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. FDIC are the people, the federal agency. Right now, they're still in place. There's no sign that that's one of those federal agencies that's going to be shut down. FDIC is the agency that protects your deposits. So the way it works is you get security, you get insurance. That's why insurance is in their name, of up to $250,000 per depositor, per insured bank, for each account ownership category. So for whatever reason, if you have your money set up in some bank and that bank goes under, you get $250,000 per person on that account for each account. Lovely, right? Which means you're secure. Like those savings aren't, you don't have to worry about them disappearing. Then the last part of the what to look for is accessibility. So you want to see that you can access your funds. There can be online transfers, ATMs, mobile banking, but I'm going to be honest with you, this is where it gets a little tricky. So it's kind of like a seesaw ladder. You can either have a high interest rate or you can have accessibility. High interest rates tend to get you more money, but in order to get those higher interest rates, you have to tend to go to the banks that are typically like not in-person banks. So they're able to cut costs and transfer that cut cost savings onto you as the end user by not having a building, because then they're not having to pay for insurance for the building. They're not having to pay for ATM. They're not having to pay for extra security. They don't have to pay for the employees, any of that. They don't have to pay for any of that. So by cutting those costs, they're then able to give you the higher interest rate. But that means you don't have accessibility on this side, because accessibility means you can't go into that bank. You can't get your money whenever you want. So you kind of have to decide, do you want high interest? Do you want accessibility? I tend to encourage my clients to go for the high interest, because you don't really need to access your savings account that much. The idea is that it is sitting there untouched so that it can get the money, so that it can get that yield you want. So accessibility, in the case of savings account, accessibility is not as important as high interest. Go with the high interest. So now that we know why we should save, we know what to look for in a savings account, let's look at how much you should save. A good rule of thumb, 50-30-20. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. So you look at your budget and you say, when I get paid, when I have money coming in, 50% of it is going to the things I need to do, like pay my rent, pay my phone bill, whatever else. 30% goes to the things I want to do, eat out, go on vacations, get my hair colored. 20% goes towards savings because I'm a responsible adult. You should also have an emergency fund. So I always encourage, aim to have 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in an emergency fund. And this is all your emergency or all of your living expenses. So yes, you have rent every month, but maybe your car registration, you only have to pay it every 3 months, right? Or maybe you have health insurance and they pay once a month, or you have subscriptions and they give you a discount if you pay every 6 months. Like look ahead at all 3 to 6 months and then say, this is the savings I will have. You also want to have savings set aside for your short-term and long-term goals. So we mentioned before, the savings gives you the flexibility to pursue those goals. You want to break it out and say short-term. Short-term usually is something in the financial world. Short-term is usually something that can be done within 1 year. So that's considered a short-term goal. And then long-term is anything that takes more than a year. There is some flexibility on how you define short-term versus long-term. Either way, you got to save for it, right? Next to last, not quite last part of this, high yield savings accounts. So to help you get started, I have looked up and researched some of the top high yield savings accounts currently offering competitive interest rates. I am partial to the American Express high yield savings account. They have excellent customer service. They give you that money quickly. They are a solid, well, reputable, all those good words we like to use company. And so I prefer to use American Express. I always say, no matter what, remember to do your own research and choose an account that fits your needs. So perhaps you want to do a savings account with your credit union, because credit unions also have great rates on mortgages and car notes. And so you want to have it all with one bank. That's perfectly fine. Regardless of how you pursue and what you're looking for, pro tip, go to nerdwallet.com. They have savings account reviews. So you can get real-time updates every month. I believe they update it monthly on which accounts have the highest interest rates. Now, the last part, CD ladders. So this is something that some people know something about, and some people know that, man, it's something I can do. We're going to break it down, and then I'll get out your way. CD ladders. CDs are a certificate of deposit. Now, I know if you're like me, you're an 80s, 90s baby. CDs are actually a way that we played music before MP3s and before streaming was a thing. It is not that type of CD. A CD is the old school way our parents used to save money. So a CD is different from a high yield savings account. It is a savings account, but it's different from a high yield savings account in that it tends to come in the form of you have a specific period of time and it is a specific interest rate. It is not as fluid. Like sometimes high yield savings accounts, they'll say the return is yield is 3.8% this month, next month is 2.4%, the next month is 4.1. Like they don't change that much, but they can change. Whereas with the CD, you are locked into that interest rate, that yield, that interest rate is yours for a specific period of time. And generally, the longer the period of time, the higher the interest rate. That is why CDs tend to be more competitive compared to a high yield savings account. Now, how does a CD ladder work? A CD ladder is where you say, I'm going to put a little bit of money into multiple CDs that have different times, because then I will get a higher return, a faster return, a larger return than just having it in one high yield savings account. So for example, you put $500 into one CD that matures in 3 months. Mature means that's when you get your money back. You put $750 into a 6-month CD, and then you put $1,000 into a 1-year CD. So at the end of 3 months, you take that $500 plus the interest it generated, which, as we discussed before, in 3 months, you can get like $4 or $5, let's say, off of that. You then cycle that back into the next one to be a year and 3 months from then. And then at 6 months, you cycle the $750 you did for 6 months, you cycle that into another year ahead. And the $1,000 for 1 year, you put it a year ahead. So every 3 to 6 months, you have money coming in the form of your savings. That CD is now matured. You get that money and it helps it grow faster. Overall, it's just a way to, game the system, but not game the system as in it's something, illegal. It's very legal, very logical. It is a savings technique that helps you constantly have access to your funds, because we mentioned accessibility is something you need without actually having to sacrifice the high interest rates. It's a good way to earn money without locking all your money away. In conclusion, savings is not just a journey, it is a destination. So you have to think about going along the way. Like, don't wait to the very end and say, okay, now I'm just going to put all my money aside and hope it works. Start today, stay consistent, and then watch your savings grow. And as always, I say always a lot, but this one I mean all of them. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and then follow me on IG, TikTok, and Threads at Rich Like My Melanin. Let's save and build wealth together.